Real estate agents are finally feeling the pain of the recent housing market downturn. As you all know, during the pandemic, real estate agents were just making a ton of money. There were a lot of newbies, people that never been in the industry, making six figures plus because everyone was buying a house, trying to take advantage of lower interest rates. Now that interest rates are higher and inventory levels are lower, a lot of real estate agents have left the industry completely or has taken a second job or looking for another way to make money or to build back what they used to have. And as we talked about before on this channel, during the pandemic, a lot of real estate agents, because the industry and because the housing market was crazy, they were always saying to their customer, well, I don't know, you may have to pay it over asking because we have so many other buyers, or we don't have as many houses, you got to pay over asking. And a lot of times we read stories of people getting kind of pushed or forced into buying a property that they couldn't really afford, that wasn't really in a great condition. And a lot of people are now stuck in that property because, number one, where are they going to move? Now that interest rates are higher, their monthly payments are going to be higher. Now that rents are higher, even if they decide to rent a home, it will be higher. And so you have these real estate agents that probably did that over the course of these past couple of years since the pandemic. Now they're suffering. Now they're not getting as much business as they used to before. So in today's video, we're just going to go over the stats, look at the different charts, and see what real estate agents are doing and making right now, and how impacted are they because of the rise of mortgage rates. Make sure you all hit that subscribe button for some more content around the housing market. All right, you all. So this Fortune article is great, just talking about the different things that are happening in the housing market. And so they're saying that a lot of new homeowners are handcuffed to their properties, right? These are people that bought their properties in 2020, 2021, early 2022 with interest rates around 2 to 3%. And so now they're kind of handcuffed to their property because they don't want to move and purchase a property that is higher price and with a higher mortgage rate. And plus, their options are limited because inventory levels are low. And so a lot of these homeowners are handcuffed to their properties. And right here, it says that 2 to 3% mortgage rate is what they were dealing with. And they can't imagine taking a mortgage rate around 6 to 7%. So if a borrower were to take a $500,000 mortgage at 3%, they owed around $2,100, right? Over the course of 30 years. However, at 7%, that payment is at $3,327. So that's a $1,200 increase in monthly payments because mortgage rates have changed. Simply put, the 2 to 3% mortgage rates were a policy outcome of COVID-19 recession and are acting as golden handcuffs to a lot of consumers. And according to Realtor, a total of over 400,000 homes were listed for sale in May 2023. That's down 22.9% from 527,000 listed May of 2022 and down 30% from 584,000 in May of 2019. And they have this great chart right here showing new home listings coming into the market. Right here, May 2023, we were at around 400,000. And of course, this color, this peach color one is higher, and that represents 2020 when the pandemic first hit. It really dropped the inventory levels and then went back up. But right here, you have 2023 being represented, I believe, by the black line, right? That's what we see right here. But this represents 2022. So to compare that to last year, you see how much higher that is to 2023. And so you can imagine, make you start thinking about real estate agents. They don't have as much people coming to them saying, hey, I want to sell my home. Hey, sell my home. And so a lot of real estate agents that I used to hear on social media just talking about, hey, I closed this amount of deals, I did this, I did that. They're not on social media anymore. They're not talking about certain things. Now, the ones that I believe are great, they're honest about it. They say, hey, we did this amount of closings last year. This year is a little bit different. We're half that amount. I like that transparency. But a lot of them that I believe that went quiet is because they left the industry, right? It was a great time to be a real estate agent. I should have thought about just getting my license in 2020 and just ride that wave. I would have made a good amount of money because everyone was looking for a house. Everyone was trying to move and buy here. And a lot of people who were used to renting, especially like IT people living in these high cost living areas, and now that they can work from home, they can buy a house in the Midwest and the South at a lower price. The lack of homes for sale spells bad news for real estate agents and mortgage brokers who make their living on transaction volume. So it's also mortgage brokers, not only real estate agents, right? You have to understand the industry as a whole, and everyone included in this market. And so real estate agents suffer, mortgage bankers suffer, and some of these people, unfortunately, you always find bad apples. It's just a number. Hey, you want a house? You want a house? You want a house? We're just doing it. And so they're used to business running great. They probably got a nice new car, got a nice new house. And then when transaction volume really slowed down, people are all like, oh, I need this money to pay for all these higher cost of living things that I bought because I thought this would continue. So for real estate agents who work in communities with high construction volumes, things are not so bad. So of course, there are areas where construction is just booming, right? I'm seeing new construction around where I live. And so that's always great for real estate agents. But even then, I still believe real estate agents have seen a slowdown. However, mortgage brokers aren't so lucky. They're also dealing with the fact that the refinance market has plummeted. After all, who's going to take their 2 or 3% mortgage and refinance it for over 6%? And this is a great point that this article made, because people are not going to switch over to a higher payment that will charge them $1,000 more on their mortgage, right? People are not refinancing, and mortgage brokers make way more money, on refinances, especially when they sold somebody a house and then they come back to them for a refinance. So that's very interesting, just to understand just the different aspects of the housing market and how that affects the real estate industry. And then you have this new listings by month. This is just in New York, Newark, Jersey City area, and you see it peaked in 2019, and then 2020 was down, pandemic, and now 2023 is around 16,000 for new listings in this city. Active housing inventory, you have more happening here. You have May 2023 being just below 600,000, but in May of 2022 it was that amount. So yes, you do have slightly more active listings, and that's another thing that real estate agents are slightly suffering from, because a lot of more houses are just sitting on the market because home sellers are still not aware or doesn't get the picture that your homes are not going to sell at this price anymore. You need to adjust your price. And so hopefully the smart agents will tell their sellers accordingly, like to price it accordingly to the housing industry and what's happening in the housing market. They will lower their price if they truly want to sell that house. There's some good news with that. Like, it's good that we're seeing slightly more active housing inventory, because I think it's great to go back to normal levels and just to have more of a supply, so that can push price even further down for most homeowners. Yeah, I just think it's interesting just learning about all of this and how it affects real estate agents. So in May 2023, active listings were 22.1% higher than May 2022. So that's great, signaling some housing market softening, right? Less of a inflation around the housing market. However, active listings are down 50.5% since May 2019, signaling it's still a competitive market nationally speaking. And so, wow, this is 50% lower than 2019 levels. That's crazy. Now, I did share this chart in another video, but I just want to share it again with you all. So this right here just shows May versus May 2022 and May 2023, and the differences between monthly payments with median price, mortgage rates, and different things like that. And you see median price was higher, and mortgage payments it's been increasing since the pandemic. It's great that we're seeing some price softening happening. Median sell price 2022 compared to 2023 going down, and then mortgage rates are just going up. But I think this is good to understand, because even though home prices are going down, and real estate agents are probably telling their sellers and their buyers that, at the same time, these monthly payments are still hurting the home buyer, right? Which affects the real estate commission, which affects mortgage brokers. And maybe to a certain degree, they deserve it. And this is good that they're just experiencing this shift happening in their industry. All right, you all, let me know your thoughts on the changes on the housing market and how it affects the different workers in the housing industry. Is it finally good that real estate agents are adjusting and making these shifts, or experiencing some softening in their market, or even like investors, real estate agents, or contractors, builders, and different things like that? I think some people, the few bad apples, took advantage of people during the pandemic, but hopefully this will weed some of them out during this time. All right, you all, make sure you all like this video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later.